So if you're like John and I, you like to tinker with stuff and find out how it works. And unfortunately, it seems that some high quality individual managed to go and strip out part of the worm gear in this setup. And so it only goes about where it is now before it starts making bad noises that it shouldn't. So we're going to take a look at this Pinnacle setup. There's a model number there. And we're going to pull it down off of here, take a look at the drive interior, and that way we can show everybody what it looks like, because we like to tear things apart too, don't we, John?
Yep.
And so this actually is a 24-volt system, supposedly with a battery backup integrated. So who knows? You know, we got a lot of power wheels that run on 24 volts. Maybe we'll make a Pinnacle power wheel. Wouldn't that be a funny name?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to see if we can get that thing off of there. The tracks are pretty simple. I mean, all they have is a mount there, and a mount there, and a mount up there. And the whole track system just comes off. What I don't know is whether I can get this chair to actually slide off the end of this thing. So we're going to pull this butt plate off, which is down here. We're going to pull that off, and we're going to see if that thing will actually just drive itself right off the end of there. The reason this needs to come out is because my father no longer lives here, and I would love to be able to open my door again. So, alright. Ready, John?
Yep.
Okay. So, Radical Raymond here and I, we thought we were going to remove this little safety piece, and we were going to be cool, and we were going to sit on this, and we were going to drive it off. Except for I never got to go and hit the record button because I'm now sitting on the floor. Yeah. How was that, little buddy? Was that quite the ride? So, safety bump stops. They're there for a reason. Now we're apparently jammed into the floor and we gotta figure out how to get it out of there. Stay tuned. So this is why men have a hard time throwing away tools. Unfortunately, my nice impact disappeared, but this old reliable Great Neck that I bought at AutoZone almost 8 years ago, it still works really good. So there we go. Tried and true tools are sometimes the best. Okay, I thought I was going to be all masculine and pick that up and throw it over there. That's not happening. This thing weighs a lot more than I thought it would have. Wow, that's got to be at least 100 pounds. Alright, we're going to get it moved over and we're going to take it apart. Alright, so we've got a piece of track here so we can explain this a little bit. And basically what it has is it's got this worm gear right here, and the track sits like this in the center. So as it rotates, it goes up across on the track right here. The other thing you're going to notice is you've got this, which is your downward weight. You've got this, which is your side-to-side weight, which basically works the same way that a bandsaw does. Basically, your bandsaw has your two that hold it in line and your two that hold it from the side, and your bandsaw blade goes like this. And that's basically the same thing your track does in here. And then what you've got here is you've got an electrode on this side, you've got an electrode on this side, and they run on these little springs. And this is where your 24 volts comes into the system from. And then down in here, you've just got more of the track that's extended as it goes up through. So this is your worm gear, this is your track and how it sits. And as you can see the cutout where the rest of the track sits, kind of like a roller coaster track. It's an interesting little setup. Let's see if we can tear this outside shroud off and see what it looks like inside. Who knows, maybe there's a motor we can pull out and use for something. Alright, so what I discovered is that there's a manual override switch right here, but it only seems to go in one direction when this thing is on battery mode. So we've got two 12-volt batteries that are connected in series in order to have 24 volts going through this switch, which goes to the circuit control board here and goes to all the fancy wiring. So this is a piece of track, and I can actually show you right now if I set that in there and I press against it, how the worm gear works through it. See? It pulls it down in. Let's try that again without me standing in the light, shall we? Just like that. So it catches on those teeth and it pulls it down, and that's how it ends up going uphill. Now, I'd love to tear this apart further for you in order to demonstrate more, except for what I discovered is this entire chassis is actually welded together. This is welded in place. The cross member up here is welded in place. The entire front member is welded in place. And that bottom plate that I showed you earlier in the video is welded in place. If this uses a chassis ground, the system will not work outside of this metal box. But we can tear it apart a little bit further and we'll see what happens. At the very least, we ended up with two known good batteries that we'll be able to use in another project later. Alright, so... Whoop. Hi, Chance. Cat door. Alright, so here we go. Here's the seat. There's the seat platform. Now this seat actually pivots 90 degrees when you pop this lever over here. And John's idea is that we should take that, and we should take that, and we should put it onto a lawn tractor so that way you have a pivoting seat that comes out so that you can just spin 90 degrees. Not sure if that's brilliant or just 7-year-old craziness, but what do you guys think? So there's the bottom plate, there's the seat post, there's that, and let's see what's in here for more electronical stuff. So this is the motor. I was actually rather surprised at the size of this thing. There we are. And it's got twin batteries in it. Now they're nothing too special, they're just regular style APC batteries, but they're functional, they seem to be doing well. So those we'll be able to put into a power wheel. That's the control board that came in it. I'll end up checking on eBay and find out whether this is actually worth anything and go from there. We got a nice battery tray that goes with these, so that'll be a nice upgrade for one of the 24-volt power wheels. Like I said, there's the motor, and here's the chassis. And as you can see, all of this, it's all welded together on the outside. This entire thing is one solid box. There's one screwed in plate right here where the electrical connections are, and that's it. The rest of this is all solid welded together. Not really sure what I'm going to end up doing with it. It's not quite the right size for a battery. I almost thought about making it into an auxiliary battery holder or something like that, but who knows? We'll see where we go for the future of this. Most likely, most of it's going to get scrapped out, but that right there has a lot of potential. I'm sure a ton of you already have ideas as to what you would do with it, but we'll go from there. So thanks everybody very much. This isn't my usual video. John and I like to tear things apart, so we figured we'd show you what we found. If you like this kind of content, if you're on Facebook and you can comment, because Facebook isn't like YouTube, feel free to go and tell me whether you like this or not, and whether you'd like to see videos like this in the future. Have fun, stay out of trouble, keep it positive.